High School District Board of Trustees. 2 members will be joining really shortly. Roll call, please, Ms. Emery.
President Dice.
Present.
Member DeWin.
Present.
Member Williams Muller.
Present.
Thank you. Can we now please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll now move on to public comments. Are there any public comments? Any members of the public wish to address the board on items not covered on this evening's agenda? Please, if so, please come on up. Our microphone should be working. We're good to go. Good evening. Yes, thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Mark Kelly. I am a resident and a business owner in Emeryville. My firm, Mac5, has been active on the ECCL project for 18 months, engaged primarily in cost consulting exercises. For those of you who know the project well, you know that the greatest challenge of this project is cost. Over the last 18 months, our firm has lowered the cost of the project $3 million. In addition, we've prepared constructability reports. We recently put out RFPs for the inspector of record, testing and inspections, all things that a project construction manager would do and that work that we normally do. For the 18 months preceding this, we've put our heart and soul into this project to see to it that the ECCL will achieve its vision and that the school district also will achieve its educational mission. After 18 months of working with the district architect and the contractor, Turner Construction, firms with a long history in public construction, they advocate for Mac5 to stay on the job because of we're qualified and because of our history on the project. So I'm here tonight simply to say and let you know how deeply disappointed I am, how deeply disappointed Manil is, and Eve and everyone else in Mac5 who's put their heart and soul into this project to see that what's being put before you is a firm with a higher fee. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Please come on up.
Hi, good evening. My name is Thomas Robinson, and my daughter attends Anna Yates. She's in 2nd grade class with Mrs. Coach, and I'm here to advocate for her rehire. I have attended and I have been present in her class several times throughout the year. And as an educator myself, I teach special ed, 6th through 8th grade. Her teaching practices are stellar. I mean, I'm impressed every time I go in there. My own personal philosophy is that the fairness is based on the students' needs and making those needs equitable to everyone. Equitable not meaning that each student gets a certain amount of time, but each student receives the amount of time that they need for the skills. She has a very diverse class. She promotes respect. She brings all of the cultures in that class together to respect each other's cultures. And overall, she's just a fantastic teacher. My daughter here, Sienna, is here tonight, and she not only promotes good classroom teaching, but fantastic just literature. My daughter is now reading her first chapter book, Where the Red Fern Grows. She's reading that book because of her teacher, Mrs. Coach. It's not a book I would have suggested, but our daughter was very interested in reading that book because it's being read to her in the class, and she wanted to read ahead. So I'm here to support Mrs. Coach. I would like her to be rehired. I'd like my daughter to be in her class for 3rd grade.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
what's your name again?
Thomas Robinson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there other public comment? Any public comment? This is a good time, and definitely for Ms. Coach, for sure.
My name is Saba Gabreyesus. I'm the mother of Peju Whitfield, and he's in the 2nd grade. I haven't really written anything, but as soon as I heard about Mrs. Coach's situation, I was a little bit disturbed. Peju had a rough 2 years at Annie Yates with his first teacher. His first teacher has been a teacher for 22 years, and I can understand why it would be rough, being that she probably didn't have the tools or the training to deal with children of this day and age, being that, you know, they're computer age kids and they just have a different form of consciousness. So the way that I felt like Mrs. Coach's approach to the kids was very nurturing and very relative to today's type of children, meaning that she was able to implement meditation with the children actually agreeing to it and saying that, you know what, this is something I want to implement in my everyday. My son comes home and says, I'm going to meditate after school, or I'm going to read this book that I really love that Miss Coach was telling me about. She's patient. She's been able to actually listen to my concerns with understanding and without coming to a conclusion that it would not be beneficial for her to implement this or that. And that's some of the issues that I dealt with this teacher 2 years ago. And I say this to say because I did not plan on bringing Peju back to Annie Yates. He was actually enrolled at a school in Union City. But when I found out that they would actually put him in Mrs. Coach's class, I said, great, this is the type of teacher I want for my son. I will not allow my son to become a statistic, if you will. I actually work in health research, and I was part of the health research that actually focused on young African Americans and equities in the classrooms and being sent out due to disciplinary methods. I learned the same thing with his teacher 2 years ago, is that he kept getting sent out for raising his hands or squirming or all those things that children do. And the fact that Ms. Coach actually understands how children engage in classroom environments, she understood me as a parent. I just felt like that was the fit. And for me to hear that there's this issue of whether or not this teacher will be rehired makes me feel like, as a parent, our children aren't being valued, especially when there is a teacher that is engaging, that is helpful and nurturing, and wants to see them excel academically. So just so you know, I do not plan on bringing my son back if Ms. Coach is not here. And I think that's pretty much the sentiment of many other parents as well. So I do want you guys to see my son, who's sitting right there. He's a very interesting kid, if you will.
Right now.
Interesting in the sense where he's not the typical wants to focus on his work. And because, you know, he's a young boy, boys are more concerned about what's going on outside. But the fact that she's able to quell that energy and channel it and make it very effective for him, I don't think, all I can say is that she's very unmatched. It's an invaluable person that you guys have at the school, like many other instructors. So to not rehire her would be a disservice to the community, to the school, and to many of the children that plan on coming back. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Are there other public comments on items that are not on the agenda this evening? Anything else? And I don't know, yeah. So as it relates to, do you want to maybe interject here? Probably. In terms of teacher process hiring or?
Oh, yeah, it's my understanding that the position held by Ms. Coach is now open for interviews, and that she has been asked to submit an application. I believe she has done that, Ms. Hara? Merrill?
I will try to find a way to address confidential personnel issues in the manner that I can. And there's a lot that I cannot address. I will speak in general terms, not specifically about Ms. Coach or any other Emeryville teacher. There are occasions when you may have staff out on leave for a particular reason. Some are on sabbaticals, studying, various reasons. Then a temporary teacher is hired while that individual teacher is on that particular leave, in which case, when that teacher then returns to work to their regularly held position, the temporary teacher is, of course, released, because when they were hired with the understanding that they were a temporary teacher. So it is not the district's intent to ever displace a teacher or to hire someone and just sort of randomly dangle them out there without them knowing what the circumstances are. So again, those are just general terms with sometimes how personnel matters work when you're hiring temporary teachers to work for a limited time in a position held by a regular teacher who may return to that position.
Thank you. And just to clarify, my comment is we do anticipate having the ability to open teaching positions, and should that be the case, Ms. Coach is certainly asked to apply for the positions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just wanted to get that information in your hands so you were aware as much as you can be, because I wouldn't want you to walk away thinking that everything is done deal or not. There's not more information out there or whatever. But I just wanted to make sure you had that information. Are there other public comments to this particular or other items not on the agenda this evening? All right.
Can I just say one thing?
Go ahead.
You know, and I just hope for those who spoke, they understand what the process is and, you know, why things occurred the way they did. So I think Ms. Harrell did an excellent job explaining as much as she could regarding the circumstances. So I hope you kind of understood that and how that process all works.
Working as a teacher, in a district, I understand those concerns.
Okay.
And I'm just
You can come talk to me.
working for a public school district. I understand very well the implications. I came here tonight to support
That's fine.
her application.
There you go.
And I understand the confidentiality. I'm not sure about the other parents, but I do have a little bit additional information, which I'm not sure if I'm privileged to share at this time or if it would be appropriate to share. But my main concern is if such teacher is not coming back, it is my hope that Ms. Coach becomes a permanent teacher or hired into that position so that she could become a permanent teacher and I guess after the 3-year policy to become a tenured teacher. She's a great asset to Anna Yates, and just like the other parents' sentiment, we both live, Sienna's parents, we both live in Oakland. My wife works at Pixar, and so we're using the Allen Gates law to have Sienna attend the school here. And I was very skeptical at first. Placing a child is very difficult, and of course you want the best for your child. I believe in public education, otherwise I would not be a public education teacher. So I support that fully. So far I've been very impressed with Anna Yates. I had a very good experience with Sienna's kindergarten and first grade teacher, Mr. Waugh, and I'm duly impressed, if not more so, by Mrs. Coach's teaching ability and what she brings to the classroom. Again, she has a multitude of students with several needs. It's a very diverse and culturally adverse class. She does a fantastic job of bringing all those children together and engaging them in learning.
That's great.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Appreciate it.
support of our teachers too.
That's really
Both
great.
of you all. Really
And
appreciate it.
So far, our experience my experience has been very good.
Good.
That's
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, please.
Are you affiliated with the Parent Teachers Association?
I am not.
Well, I think you may want to think about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I may consider that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very
you.
much. Thank you, Superintendent.
Thank you so much. We'll now actually move into reports. Are there members from, or excuse me, member from CSEA? Did I get that right? ETA? Good evening.
Good evening, Dawn Turner, Emery Teachers Association President. I am happy to report to the board that ETA has ratified the 2013-14 contract. We're really pleased, no hiccups, no complaints, all good. I just wanted to also bring to the board's attention that the agreement in that contract was to extend our benefits, which you know are the most important thing to us, to 2015, with the promise of looking for other insurance companies that may provide better service at a reduced rate. And so we will convene a benefits committee next week. And it will consist of about 3 of ETA members, and 3 district personnel. So we'll have new eyes on it. And then the one thing that we're going to do different this year is we'll have someone from the NOD team from CTA, which is the Negotiation and Organizational Development team, that will come in and assist us in that search for hopefully a better benefits package. All right, so as always, we have promised that in an effort to keep what is status quo for us for benefits-wise, that we will periodically shop around to see if we can save money for the district. Okay. And then one last item, I just wanted to report that our first day of testing at Annie Gates went well. Seemed to be very few hiccups. Everybody was on hand, so Ryan, Alex were there to address any problems, and so it moved relatively smoothly. No complaints. Of course, the kids weren't too thrilled about the testing itself, but other than that, technology-wise, everything seemed to move pretty smoothly.
Great. I thought you would give me a shout out.
I was getting ready to.
Oh, okay. I'm
Hang
sorry.
on. I did say last thing, so that's my. So I'd also like to share with everyone that remember Duane came to my classroom. What day was it, Mr.
Friday.
Duane? I can't remember.
Friday.
The days just at this point in time melt one into the other.
All right.
So anyway, he had an opportunity to see my class in action. They were all testing. Friday is our testing day, and we test on iPads. So they were all taking their test, and when they were finished, they had a chance to talk to him and be very candid about some of their concerns.
Yeah.
And so it was a good meeting. They
It
were
really
very
was.
animated
Right.
and trying to get their points across,
Yeah.
and trying to help him understand their needs.
I
So
enjoyed
I appreciate you dropping by.
Well, thank you. I'll
Come
be
by
back.
anytime.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you for having
And
me.
if there aren't any more questions, done.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. He needed that shout out bad. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right.
Well, I mean, the union always comes up, and talk about things, that are related to students, and, I mean, Ms. Turner is very well. She never comes up and beat up on the board. She doesn't. But, right.
Need to.
But at the same time, it would be good to have a little accolades from the board that we do, we do come to the sites, and we visit teachers, and we visit students, and we hear from students, and, we take their input. And it was a very good discussion that I had with the students. I was very surprised regarding their needs and the way they actually communicated those needs to me. Mm-hmm. So I feel compelled to try to do what I can, because if I go back, I'm gonna hear it. And,
Yeah.
Right.
As you should.
Right. And so I'm doing my best.
All right, so are there representatives from Annie Yates PTO? Annie Yates School Site Council? Good evening. Oh,
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Good
I'm going to keep it real short because I think next couple times we'll actually have more to say, so I'm going to keep it short. I'm really excited today. I just came from a 2-hour meeting with the Hidden Genius Project, and so real simple. They're just a bunch of young technology professionals between about 30 and 42. Oxford University, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, whatever the top companies are. They started 2 years ago a project in Oakland to teach, their focus is African American males, teach them directly technology. They were highlighted and given an award by the White House and got to go out to the White House. So I sat down with the founder, who was an alumnus of my Duke University, and he was completely open to partnering with Emeryville from here, like going forward. And having an ongoing program. So I'm not going to go deep into like their program, but they've basically developed a tech curriculum, and we just kind of shared some of the things we were doing compared with some of the things they're doing. So to me, I think that's really exciting, they would like to get started as soon as possible. I was also contacted by another person outside talking about some of the stuff. There's been a lot of talk about getting our kids more plugged into the corporate world. This particular individual has a 20-year history in the Bay Area, and at least 10 years he ran something called On-Ramps in Oakland, which took youth and paired them with leading companies. Many of them went on to win Gates scholarships and Fulbright scholarships and Rhodes scholarships. So he is now independent and specifically focused in the Oakland area and not just tech. So they're doing a wide variety of subjects, so there'll be more on that later. But those were two people that made commitments so that when we make our school single site plan, it will include direct links between our students and real companies and mentors. So that's pretty much all I'm going to highlight now. And I did have a good meeting with staff. They gave me some great information. There'll be more of that. There is a school site council meeting next Monday. So for some of the parents that are interested, we are writing the school plan for next year. We've heard a lot of the issues, good and bad. So not now, but if you want to catch me outside, you want to be filled in on what's going on in some of the process, I will be there to speak to you. Also, I do not know the teacher in question. I've never even spoken to her. But parents have come up to me and asked me what to do, whether they give their recommendations. So I have a list of parents that I will be giving them the superintendent's information so that the letter that they wrote, I didn't write it, they can send to the superintendent. And I'm supposed to get back to them, I think, today. So I think there will be some more parents who volunteered to write a letter in support. So that'll be coming sometime this week or next week.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Gibb. I appreciate your commitment to the parents, the students, and this district.
I will, okay, sorry, lost track. Representative from Emery Secondary School, PTO. Student reps report. She's got it all down.
Hi, y'all. So I have a couple of things for tonight. Our Pennies for Patients fundraiser, I should say, was ended March 31st, and it was a really good turnout. I mean, the treasurers aren't done counting all of it yet, but yeah, I think it was very good turnout, and it was a lot of money. Also, prom tickets are on sale at lunchtime. I think every day at lunch until the 18th of April. Then there's grad night, and grad night's next payment is due on the 18th as well. Then we have our sports teams. Our sports teams are baseball, well, male baseball, female soccer, and female softball. And I've heard that they're doing well. I haven't been to any of the games yet, haven't had a chance, but they're doing great. And, oh yeah, our freshmen are starting their first fundraiser of the year, and we're doing the Eastergrams. Well, our freshman class is doing the Eastergrams, but we started Monday, and then we're going to sell them until April 17th, and on the 18th, the Eastergrams will be given out at lunch. And then, Tuesday at our annual Associated Student Bodies meeting, we did give out our appreciations for Daryl Soupy Hampton for his retirement. And it was very nice, very emotional. And, oh yeah, that was Monday. Then also, Unity Week is coming up, and that is May 5th through the 9th. And Unity Week is basically when we all get together and we talk and we have workshops and we get a better understanding of other people and how other people live and their culture, and we basically come together. So we call it Unity Week so we can all unite together as one. And that is May 5th through the 9th. Then this Saturday is Spartan Spirit Saturday, where we're going to have like tours of the campus. So people from like, if they're planning on going to Emery, they can just like come and check it out on Saturday, which is, then we're going to have a couple of games and food and lots of family fun.
What time is it?
It starts from 9 and it goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And, oh, okay. Sorry. And then Monday we had our WASC come in, the WASC team, and those basically the people that say that we can keep the school open, or sorry, not open, but like our diploma means something when we graduate. So I haven't heard anything back, but a couple of the ASB students and a couple of seniors did meet with them on Monday, myself included, and we had a nice talk, and we basically shared our experience based upon how we felt, how the school was going, and how they informed us about our success and what we need to do to be successful to walk across the stage. And then, oh yeah, sorry, one more thing about prom.
Go for it.
Prom is at the Hyatt Fisherman's Wharf, and
What's the date?
it's in San Francisco, and the date I do not know.
May 5th or something.
Yeah, is it May 3rd? May 3rd? Yes, prom is May 3rd. Yeah, at the Hyatt Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco.
I've been looking for shoes. I've been on the shoe hunt right now. So, just finished shoe shopping. All right.
And our last, most important one is the last one. I promise, last one.
Keep going.
Friday, we did have a very special visitor. Remember the win?
Oh,
Hi.
no.
And he,
I'm getting too much.
and he did come to our class, and we put him to work, and he learned basically.
Please, here, 'cause I don't know what I was doing.
We had to draw shapes and like figure out geometrically how everything works, like a circle, but we had to find the actual definition of a circle. And you had to find something in everyday life, and you had to label like the arc, the area, the tangent, and your picture was very interesting.
Now, you know I was lost with all of this. After all these years.
But yeah, it was just nice to have a board member come in, and I don't know how many classrooms you went to, but it was nice to see you in my geometry class.
Thank you.
And it was kind of shocking because I didn't know it was going to be a board member. So yeah.
Yeah, I was
And-
had my eye on you too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was fun, and I want to invite you guys to come by.
Okay, all right. That's
Any
right.
board member, yeah,
That's
you
right.
guys could come by. It's pretty cool. I mean, Emery's just like the coolest place to be, so it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love
That
your
concludes
reports.
my
Yeah.
report.
I love your
Good
reports.
job.
You
Good
do it.
job.
You know
Very
what? I
good.
must
It
give
was
you
very
that
good.
because
Gave me kudos too.
we're just gonna miss her. No, it's really great. I think it's amazing to have such insightful updates about the happenings on campus. So I appreciate it, and I have been strongly challenged, and I will take vacation day and do it.
Yeah.
So I'm coming before school's out. I will be there, both school sites. If I say it out loud, it's gonna happen. So I
wait.
appreciate it.
I forgot something.
Oh, she forgot something.
Sorry, had to go back into my
okay.
memory.
That's right.
Athletic study hall, and just like study hall, if you want to come, is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays after school from 3:30 to 4:30. And basically, right now it's led by football coaches, and they're basically getting us ready and making sure that we're eligible to play sports if you want to play sports and that's what you want to do, or you just need help with your work. So I've been a couple of times, so it's nice.
Good.
That's
Good.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're just a wealth of info. Thank you so much.
You're
Really
working.
appreciate
You're
it.
working. I like that.
She has her reports. All right. So on to superintendent's report.
Yes, I do have some very positive backup information from our student reps report on the WASC visit.
Okay.
I was over at the school today, didn't get to all the classrooms, but I did talk to the principal, who was very pleased with the visit. We had 2 members from the WASC committee who were there for 2 days, really took a good look at the school, left with a very positive feeling. He felt very good about it. A full report will be issued in about a week or so, but some of the highlights that the WASC committee pointed out were they were very impressed with student safety concerns at the school and issues at the school. Very pleased with many new programs that have been implemented to increase student learning there. So that they pointed those out. Very impressed with their dedicated teachers and staff there. And the program they really highlighted was the wellness program. Thought it was wonderful. So there's a lot of good things going on at ESS. WASC committee is seeing it, and the principal felt very, very good about it. So that's good news.
Great.
Ms. Turner also brought up the smarter balance testing that's going on at Annie 8, so that was on my list to talk about a little bit. Evidently very well, Mr. Choate, who's been ill, came out of illness to come over and help coordinate that program. And the testing took place in the library and in the computer lab, and the students are using those new Chromebooks. And he said it's going very well, and Ms. Allen has pointed out it's going very well. So good things are happening.
Okay,
That's what
great.
I've got tonight.
Good job.
Thank you.
Great job.
I will actually, other than being challenged to visit school sites, that's my board report. I will be there. I will be there.
Did I put pressure on you?
No, there's no
Oh,
pressure.
okay.
There's always intent. When you start a new job, you just
Okay,
find a way to take a day off.
You make it.
So I'm going to make it there.
You
I'm going to
get
get
there.
there.
You get there.
But definitely, I definitely want to visit both school sites. So thank you for that. And now that I've been challenged by,
It's a great experience.
I got to do it. So
It's a great experience.
no, it is. It is. And our staff and students are performing well and deserve our visibility. So I definitely will be there. I'll definitely be there. I just have to figure out when, but I'll be there. So we'll now actually move into closed session, which will probably be about 20 to 30 minutes. So we'll now go into that and reconvene right afterwards.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And not following item C, so at this time, I'd like to entertain approval of agenda, which has happened.
Approve, we move the agenda.
Approved it.
I move that we approve the agenda for April 9th.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Awesome. Any objections to that?
No.
Any abstention? All right, we're going to move forward. Now we're going to please move into item H, report from our closed session on April 9.
So the board just met in closed session to conference with the labor negotiator and gave direction to the superintendent regarding negotiations with the Emery Teachers Association, and no actions were taken.
Thank you, Ms. Emery. Now, can you please report out item I, closed session on March 26th?
There were 3 items discussed in closed session on March 26th. No actions were taken on any of them. The 3 items were a personnel issue, a conference with legal counsel in anticipated litigation in 2 cases, and a conference with the labor negotiator regarding negotiations with both the bargaining units, ETA and CSEA. And again, no actions were taken.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll now move on to the consent calendar. We have items 1 through 4 in front of us. Are there any items board members wish to pull? Warrants, meeting minutes, a wonderful overnight field trip, our retreat.
I had some questions on the field trip and maybe the warrants.
A field trip, people. Oh, she's here? Oh, good. Okay, let's do that. So we'll just open them all. Let's start with item 4, overnight field trip first, please.
Lost my connection temporarily. Oh, no.
We have a temporary loss of connection.
She's here.
Hello.
Oh. Wanted to make sure you were here.
Yeah, I'm here.
And this is field trip, 3rd grade class, annual field trip, overnight field trip, I say that again, Angel Island and Point Bonita.
Well, member Atfield is looking. I see something here. I just kind of want to make note. So the funding source is the townhouse donation?
Yes, the townhouse has historically funded the third grade overnight field trip to Point Bonita
Okay.
YMCA.
All right. Well, that's good. I mean, it just shows again how our business community, is supporting our school district in its endeavors. So I just want to personally thank the townhouse for that donation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good evening, Ms. Lewis.
Hi.
This seems like a great opportunity, and thank you for taking the initiative to lead it. My question was simply, who is the certificated sponsor? I think that would be you. Is that right?
Yes.
And who are the parents that are going? And I particularly wanted to know with 60 students, what the chaperone
With the
to
parent
student ratio
chaperone.
is going to
Okay,
be.
so traditionally we usually have 8, somewhere around 8 parents to participate. There are also naturalists, and the students the whole entire cohort is mixed together. There's 3 teachers. There's usually 4 or 5 naturalists who lead the activities, and those parents are divided up. We don't have solid numbers on exactly which parents are participating yet, because it's a little ways out and people have to make arrangements for, whatever. So
Well, so you've got 3 teachers or
3
going?
teachers.
3 teachers going, and that's fixed, or that's
Absolutely.
you're solid on that. And then you historically have had how many parents?
8.
8 parents in
8.
addition to the 3
In
teachers.
addition to the teachers.
Okay, so even if you don't hit that, you're
If we
certainly
don't,
going to get 5 or 6.
if we don't
or-
hit it, because the students are in 3rd grade, some parents are not comfortable with them doing a overnight trip. So if we don't have the numbers, then one teacher will stay at the school site. If there's a certain number of kids, our numbers kind of alter and change with how the parents feel comfortable. And we'll also adjust for the chaperones. We must have, for our comfort level and the parents' comfort level, a certain number of chaperones.
Okay, and what is that number for your comfort level?
8.
8. Okay, so you really want to hit 8.
Yes, we
no
want to
matter what.
hit. We want to hit 8.
Okay, and so you'll commit to us that you'll hit 8, or you'll figure out another arrangement.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Can I just ask, follow up, will you come back to the next board meeting and public comment and just give us, the number of chaperones that you have at that time?
Total number of chaperones,
Yeah.
once we
Yeah.
once we have it. Because
Yeah,
we have
I-
deadlines that we also have to meet with the YMCA.
Okay, so I think that's our April 30th meeting?
No,
Yes.
you mean
Oh.
prior to the trip, or?
Yeah, prior to the trip. What-
If you have that,
If-
I think
okay.
Yeah.
even better would just be a great, report on how the trip went. I mean,
Okay.
that's what I would.
Well,
hear.
I would. and
I hear both,
Right,
but
and I
we've had
think-
this trip so many times, that's why I'm just saying, I think we're gonna hit it, she's gonna make it happen, they're gonna make it happen, but we just need to hear about, back what happened,
Okay.
how it went. And in addition, provide that input would be helpful, the question about chaperones, the ratios would be helpful.
Before or after?
When she has that information, able to give it to us.
Okay, I can work with that.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my thought on that. Any
Member
other
Atfield, you good with that?
questions?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
Any other questions for Ms. Lewis?
I have
on
a-
the
think
I have a
overnight field
comment.
trip?
I have
Oh,
a
we
comment.
Student rep comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's going to be an awesome trip because I went when I was younger and I really liked it. Went with Miss Lewis and it was nice. And I just wanted to say I hope you guys enjoy it. I know I did, so yeah.
Where do you and the students stay?
They have their cabins that have plumbing, shower, everything that you need, heating, everything. So we stay. There's one that's they're separate. So
Oh, yeah.
it's inside.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are not roughing it.
Yeah. Actually, that's a great spot.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
The kids always have a good time.
Okay. Well, have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
So we have questions for the warrants. I think item 1. that will probably be Mr. Bonet.
God, this keeps logging me out for some reason. It's never happened before. I think my question was about the register. We've never seen that before in the warrants. The register of pages like 2 to 4. Just like, what is that?
I got about the same.
Actually, somehow that got snuck in past me.
Okay.
I'll have to research that one because I've never seen that type of register before myself.
I thought it was me.
Okay, so
County document, huh?
No, I think they just read it.
So if I were to ask the board to approve the register, it'd be the one for
$45,000.
$45,000, yes.
I'm good with that. These even may be old.
Is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So is that page 1?
Yeah.
1 of 1? Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
That is page 1 of 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is just some old.
so
Any other questions for Mr. Bonet? Clarification?
so you're asking us to approve the register?
No, only page 1.
Only page 1 of the register, which the warrants on the checks on page 1.
Yep.
That's what you're asking us to approve.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, no problem with any of those. So as amended, I can approve approve page 1 of the warrants.
And then for, so no other questions on the warrant, so it's the more of the recommendation is for page 1 and we'll amend.
Right.
Okay. And then for item 2, minutes of the regular March 12 meeting, were there any questions on that one?
Not from me,
I
on 2 or
lost
3.
track. Okay, and then any questions on March 12? No. Semi-annual retreat, March 22nd?
Nope.
Nothing there. All right. So what we have is an amendment for the first item warrant, so it's only page 1. And then the other 3 are clear, and there'll be some information brought back to the board. So do I
On
have
item 4.
On item 4 specifically. So do I have a motion to accept as I've outlined?
So moved.
Do I get a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. No objections? Any objections? So roll call vote, please.
President Dice?
Yes.
Member Williams Mueller?
Yes.
Member DeWin?
Yes.
Member Affelt?
Yes.
Member Ash?
Thank you. So we'll now move on to discussion action items. Item 1 is the annual wellness report. Good evening.
Hello, Mrs. Dunn.
We have a team coming up to do the presentation.
Is this Team Wellness?
This is Team Wellness. Well, this is part of Team Wellness. Kind of sounds like the football team, but this is part of Team Wellness. Okay? We're going to have Miss Allen come up too, and she doesn't want to, but she's coming. Anyway, this is our annual Emery Unified School District report on wellness. We're very happy to come and talk to you about all the things that we've been doing under wellness. And a couple of things to prepare you. First of all, we put together an extensive report, and we would like you to kind of peruse it with us, but basically listen to what we have to say, because we sent this to you ahead of time because we knew that, you know, we wanted to have information. But a lot of what we're going to be saying is may be on there, but it may not be on there. But we wanted to make sure that you understood that we were talking from these notes. It's prepared by Lauren LaPlante, who's our school psychologist, Lynn Perkins, who's a school nurse who's not here tonight, but she did a lot of our technical work as well as some of the content. Jen Reyes, who's a school social worker. Wanda Hundley, the family
resource.
Thank you very much. Family Resource Coordinator. For some reason, the brain is going. We have presenters, Anna Creta Allen, Director of Curriculum and Instruction, and Christina Shelbrick, who's a school psych intern. And the reason we have all these people up here is because a lot of times you see my face as wellness, and I'm not all of wellness. Wellness is a collaborative effort by a lot of people to do a lot of things. Our agenda is a vision and history, wellness program, how do we align, funding, and the future of wellness. And what's really weird is she's got the clicker, and I'm looking, I'm like, ooh, changed. Okay. Vision and history. Basically, there are Emery's Unified guiding principles, and we work with those all the time. We believe in holding high academic, social, and professional expectations. That's the reason that we do what we do. We're looking at the whole child. We create a sense of family. We are the family, and we deal with families, and we also deal with students. We inspire and support innovation to end racist and classist principles, but we inspire and support innovation because that's the kind of thing that we try to do with everything we are. Wellness is a brand new concept for many schools, and I think we've gotten it right, and I think we've gotten it right for Emery. We looked at some of the board priorities, and we were thinking about how do we align? Do we align with improving academic performance? Yes, and you'll see why when we go through some of our individual presentations. We do improve attendance, and we address chronic truancy and the reasons below it. We improve student engagement and student voice. A lot of what we've been doing lately, especially with the Youth Advisory Board and some of the other students who come and talk to us, we make sure they get heard not only when they come to us as counselors or when they come to us with a medical need, but also from the other side, from the PowerPoint of talking to us as individuals who have concerns. Those are the people that we talk to. Next person.
Hi, I'm Christina Shelbrick. I'm the school psych intern at Emery Secondary School, and I'm also at Anna Yates one day a week. Wellness, we have a vision statement. Our vision is that each school's program is going to foster the physical, mental, and social health, not just for our students, but for their families and also our staff. Our vision looks like this. We want students to have access to wellness or a health center. We want our students to succeed academically, and we also want them to benefit from prevention services. So the next two slides are going to be a timeline of the new programs and things that we've acquired over the last several years. So for instance, in 2004, our wellness policy mandate started when the new food service director was appointed wellness director. And we were able to obtain further funds, which paid for things, for instance, like the full-time school psychologist that started in 2007. Excuse me. In 2009, we were able to hire a full-time nurse for the district. We used MA funding for the nurse. More recently, we obtained a full-time school social worker at no cost to the district, and that was through a partnership with the county and Lifelong Medical. We also have a free county contract for 2 medical therapists that are at Anna Yates. This year, we were able to expand even further. Our intern program has 7 interns. So we have school psychologist interns, therapist interns, school social work interns, and we even have nursing interns. So without all of these staffing increases, we wouldn't be able to continue the programs that we have and increase with each year.
Okay, now we're going to talk about what wellness programs we are currently doing, and this just gives you kind of an overview. There's a lot more, but we picked some highlights. One of the key things we really want is for everyone to understand that we are really one of the core components of ECCL and the full service community schools model, and I'm sure you guys have seen this picture many times. But really, we have to work together with kind of the core academic program and community resources and supports. And so that's kind of our frame, and then we'll dig into really what wellness does. The other thing that we wanted to point out is that all of the wellness staff has been EUSD staff, but we also are providing supports to the community as well. But all the staff that are supporting wellness are district employees. And our goal is to increasingly support the community as we move forward towards ECCL.
One of the things that we did a couple of years ago was model ourselves after the Coordinated School Health Program, and we wanted to show everyone again those 8 components, because that's what we work on in terms of our plan and how we move wellness forward. We have a 3-year plan. We're in the 3rd year of that plan, and it is one of the reasons that we exist and our focus, because we can look at each one of these: family communication, family community involvement, health promotion for staff, healthy school environment, counseling, psychological and social services, nutrition services, health services, physical education, and health education. We're going to talk about each one of those and how that impacts wellness, and what we have done and what we have still to do.
All right, so we're going to go through what we are doing in each of those 8 areas of the coordinated school health model. So I coordinate the psychological counseling and social services piece. And so we're working really hard on supporting a behavioral health framework using RTI, and so universal interventions, interventions for at-risk students, and then Tier 3 intensive interventions. And those services are provided by both our employees and our partner agencies and our interns. One of the new things that we have, which is a county initiative, is our cost team, and we have those up and running at both sites. And we've processed almost 80 referrals through our coordination of services team this year. And so that is where we have about 8 to 10 people every 2 weeks come to collaborate about student needs. And so we have outside providers like rec center staff. We have all of our on-campus service providers, our partner agencies, alcohol and drug prevention services, and we're all meeting with school administrators to figure out what is the best services and how can we integrate those services. So those are really effective, and people are really using that process appropriately, and it's really helping. We've done a lot of program development to help people understand behavioral RTI. And we also have been trained in what's called a mental health consultation model through Children's Hospital Oakland. We were part of a mental health consultation training institute where they taught us about kind of building capacity in our staff. And so we've had a strong focus on professional development. And you hear Juliet and some of us doing Wellness University every month at staff meetings. So we're really trying to help people understand that a lot of supports can be provided by many staff and not just specialists. And then we have been providing and continue to provide counseling services on a regular basis for about 10% of our students. And then there's a lot of other students that receive occasional or crisis support. So the regular counseling services are both students with special needs, students with 504 plans, IEPs, but also a large number of general education students who otherwise would have to seek those services somewhere else.
So are you including special ed in there? That's students with special needs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to point out is that we deal with a lot of crisis situations. So we actually keep data on all our crisis. So we've had 24 crisis situations this school year, and those relate to suicidal situations where we're assessing threat assessments and child abuse. And there's also crises related to kind of violence in the community where we're doing grief support and kind of intensive supports in the immediate aftermath of incidents that occur related to grief and loss. And then we have sometimes housing crises and occasional kind of medical crises. So we are really very responsive, and those situations occur quite often, and you probably don't know about them because they're handled efficiently and effectively. And most of those students, out of the 24, 20 of them receive ongoing services. So we're really providing ongoing support. And the other thing that we've done this year is really expand our consultation beyond just district staff. So this year we've gone to ECDC and also the rec center to support concerns that they have about students, and we've met with them to provide that support when they've asked for it. And now we have ongoing relationships with staff and done trainings at those sites.
Can I ask you to expand on the RTI, Tier 1, 2,
Sure.
and 3? What is that?
So this is really an area that we're working towards in terms of social emotional learning. And so one of the things that came out and that will be in our WASC plan at the high school is we actually have an articulated plan now for implementing a research-based program called Positive Action at the secondary school site. And at Annie Yates, we support Second Step and the Peacemakers program and life skills. And so it's really working with both kind of programs that teach character education and conflict resolution, and then also helping teachers build their capacity about kind of student relationships and those other factors that kind of enable most students to be able to benefit with supports inside the classroom.
So response to intervention is about some sort of behavioral issue that has come up with a student, whether they're acting out or how they're treating their peers or their teacher, or is it
So
an
RTI for
academic-
like behavioral is really about social emotional learning and positive behavior supports. And so but at tier 1, it's what all teachers would be doing in all classrooms. So for example, we've done a lot of surveys at Annie Yates and at ESS, but I have more off the top of my head at Annie Yates. And so a lot of teachers are implementing Second Step, but there's a certain percent that aren't implementing it. And then we've provided like paid training for them and figured out what are the barriers, what are the reasons. So we've used like grant funding in the past to purchase new kits for them so they wouldn't have to share. And then we provided training for them so that they would be able and more comfortable to implement it, giving them like partner buddies so that they could work with someone on implementing it. And really, it's that high quality instruction about social skills, emotional regulation, and like positive behavior that they get in the classroom and by school norms as a whole. So understanding what are the school norms and rules and all of that. And so really we want to support that because we don't want students to automatically be removed from the classroom to see a specialist, fixed, and sent back in, because that's an illusion.
So what's tier 2 and 3?
So tier 2 is at-risk students, and so these are students who might need short-term intervention, and so they would mostly come to us through the SST process, and maybe they have some social skills or anger management issues, or there's something particular going on in their life outside, and they need some kind of support. We might support a teacher with like a behavior contract for them and help them, the teacher and the family kind of get on board. Today I did like some conflict resolution. So those are kind of tier 2. And then tier 3 is our most intensive students who need a really high level of support. Some students get daily check-ins with us, and there's like frequent team meetings to address those students, and they have normally like regular, consistent services and a lot of case management.
And that might be a special ed student?
Yes,
it might be a behavioral
that would
issue?
mostly be special ed students, students with 504 plans, and then other students who maybe it's not from like a disability, but there's other factors in their life that they rise to that level of like really intense behavioral or emotional needs. And so all of this is kind of processed from tier 2 and beyond through our cost team. Mm-hmm.
That's clear now. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I first would like to thank Lynn for putting together this information. She's not here today, but she's our partner not only in being a school nurse, Lynn Perkins, but she's also a partner in terms of our brainstorming buddy in terms of things that we're trying to do. She does all the mandatory immunizations, vision, hearing, screening, all of this we have to do every year. She does the dental screening. She worked with Lifelong on the Colgate ban that came through on K3. She's also gone out to UCSF, who she's affiliated with as a teacher, and gotten us nurse interns, also with Samuel Merritt. And these interns come in. One of them is looking at teaching, looking at programs that we can put together that are have technology as a basis so that students can communicate with us and we can communicate with them, and then looking at technology as a part of a service factor that we can do, and so that we can reach students a little bit better. So all of those interns are doing all kinds of interesting projects. She's integrated with the cost team, and one of the things that she is continuing and helping to develop is the Breathmobile, which you brought onto campus several years ago. We're trying to get it at ESS, but she's also inviting ECC, ECDC, and the Y to bring families to talk about asthma management, looking at what's happening with asthma, and talking to parents about it. She obtained 2 free automatic external defibrillators and trained us on it. And the training was actually with the city, ourselves, and several other people. That she had about 20 people in the gym at ESS, and we trained on doing the defibrillators, and we also got our first aid licenses. Yes, license. She acquired free stock EpiPens for both sites and trained EUSD staff on through the lifelong partnership. That took us a while because we wanted to have EpiPens on campus. She's also now at Annie Yates. We put an office together down there. Before it was pretty much centered at ESS, and she'd visit Annie Yates, but now she's there 3 to 4 days a week. And she's there helping to look at, for instance, we had some concerns about why kids were falling off the
monkey bars.
The monkey bars, and at what time was that, and what kind of injuries were there, and what could we look at that we could teach them in terms of safety and programs and those kinds of things. Well, that might be a thought too in terms of getting rid of them. But the point is, we see a need, we go and look at it, we figure out ways to take care of it.
So I work on family and community involvement, and thank you. And we have worked very closely with Alameda County, and the Medi-Cal person comes in every month, the first Tuesday of the month, and she does CalFresh and Medi-Cal sign-ups. We've worked with 33 families, and we've actually worked with more than that because she will accept phone calls from people who just stop in, and then she goes through and she does that from her office or from home. Resource referrals. We've worked with 70 families that we've referred to Alameda County's Crisis Association, and from A Better Way, and from Ann Martin, who are 2 therapy new people who are here at Emeryville. This year, Emory Unified School District and the Rec Center worked together to do a sliding scale for the after-school program. And we put in 86 children to their program, and they have agreed to do it through the summer as well, which will be more for the families, but they will be there all day rather than just after school. So they get free lunch, they get every week they will have a field trip, which they're all really excited about, and trying to tell the counselors where they want to go and what they want to do. We do Clipper bus passes there, and we've only signed up 3 kids, but we are working on that, and especially before the summer comes, and I'm going to be going to ESS, where I'm sure we'll get a lot more people. This year I did Anna Yates SART for the first time, and we sent out SART is school attendance, review, yeah. I'm having a hard time with all of the acronyms that come across my desk. School attendance, review team, okay. We sent out 68 letters for in October, and the parents did come in and explain why their children were not coming to school, or not, and especially that they were not coming in and giving the reasons why. So in April, we're only sending out 21 letters. So that's a big decrease in absences and tardiness. So we're really excited about that, and we're doing that, the actual meeting on the 29th of April. Professional development. We trained the recreation counselors, and we did classes on bullying, on ADHD and on behavior modification and on positive behavior. And they were very, very receptive. My office is actually in the rec center, and so I work mostly with Anna Yates youth, and even on the COS program, I mostly work with Anna Yates youth. But when the COS team comes up with a behavior plan or something that they're doing, and I go in and take the kids out, and after school they come into my area and we work on emotional, social issues, and it's working rather well because the counselors have now come in and talked to us about how much better the kids are getting along and how they can actually interact better. So that's working out really well. Classes at the FRC, we did teen classes, and Ms. Allen did 2 classes on what to expect in high school with the teens. And that was really great. And Mr. Rogers did a class on bullying because we were having a real hard time there for a while. Parenting classes have been really good. One of the things that's best about the parenting classes is that the whole family comes. So the father and the mother are there, and they're hearing the same thing. And we've had at least 6 sets of parents that have been there from the very beginning and are coming still to our classes. And so we've served 105 parents at our classes and 112 kids. And the counselors from the rec center have been the people who did the babysitting, and the kids have had computer classes, and they've finished their homework, and they've participated in games and things there. So it's really good for them, and so much so that they come in almost every day asking, you know, the one that they enjoyed the most was a 8-session class, and the children are asking, are we going to do the circle of security tonight? Because they get to see their friends, that they've made new friends. So that's what I do.
I have a quick question, couple of questions. So what kind of courses are taught at the parenting classes?
We have classes on everything. We have classes on mindfulness, on ADHD. We have classes on temperament.
Okay.
On the best, I think the best thing that we did was the eight weeks of Circle of Security.
Okay.
And that's on attachment.
Okay.
And how to teach your child, how to model for your child.
Good, good. I just wanted to get that out to the public, you know, for those who don't know, you know, what the Family Resource Center does, especially around parenting, that they can
parenting, we've done everything. We've done
right, and just get a
whatever
sense
it is. We first of all, I went out to PTO meetings and things to find out what the parents needed or wanted, and then
great.
I have a volunteer who's incredibly good.
Great.
And she comes in and she does most of the classes, and a few other classes we've done with other people, and I do some of them.
And to get 105 parents, and especially if you're talking about mothers and fathers, that's
well, it's not different parents.
Okay.
Because it's like everything else. Some of the parents, like we have Les Harris here, started out with our first set of 4 parenting classes, and he and his wife and his son have been at practically every class, if not every class.
Well, we're going to, I think in another meeting, we're going to need to have parents come up and give a testimony on, you know, how the Family Resource Center really helps in, you know, in the courses that you all offer? And I'm not asking for it now, but I'm just
He's
saying.
here.
All right.
He can probably tell you more than anybody else about it, but we're really excited. The things that, when I volunteered at this school, and that was when I started being
Okay.
around the school, we had a kinship program,
Okay.
which we're going to start again, because about 30% of our school are relatives and grandparents and
Right.
who are raising
Right.
kids.
Right.
And so that's really important, because they don't know that if they take guardianship of that child,
That's good.
first of all, they don't have to deal as much with the problems that are
Right.
going on,
Right.
or the parents. And, you know, the other thing is they get more money
Okay.
for the kids, and they're gonna get off TANF,
All right. Great. Great.
and
And
those kind of things.
my second question was, with the sliding scale, are those 88 additional children, or
That's 86 additional kids.
86 additional kids to what we already have going to
Yeah.
the after-school program? Good job.
And it's also bringing in people who couldn't afford.
Okay,
I mean,
great.
we have some people who are not paying anything because they have no money, you know,
Good
so.
job. Okay.
It's something that between, Juliet and Cindy
Mm-hmm.
worked out, so it's working really well.
Great job.
And they've said that they weren't gonna do it during the summer, but they're even going to do a sliding scale during the summer, which is
Great.
really good. We're also working with Covered California.
Mm.
So we're gonna also be an entity to sign up people for Covered California.
Ms. Hunley, do you know how many foster youth we have in the district?
We don't have that many foster kids.
Uh-huh.
We have more relatives, and that's good in a way,
Mhm.
but what's happening is that the relatives are not getting as much as they could if they got into the system.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I worked in the system for 16 years, so I know that it's not as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you use it correctly, it works really well. And relatives don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know a lot of the benefits that they could have, like
Mhm.
KinGap, which pretty much they would have as many benefits as a foster child would have.
Mm-hmm. So
So-
do you know the numbers in terms of foster youth and relative guardian care of our
I know
700
when
odd students?
when I volunteered here,
Mhm.
30% of the kids that were here were with relatives.
Really?
That's a big
Quite high.
amount.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Of kids.
Mhm.
And that's 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So it's, and many of the kids that I signed up for the reduced rate are relatives.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that it's pretty much the same.
Yeah. Wow.
And anecdotally, for what we know for foster kids, it's about 10
Mhm.
that we know.
Okay.
Hi. So I'm Jen Reese, and I'm the new social worker for the district. So
Don't be afraid. Don't be scared of it. It's not going to bite you.
okay, all right. So while many of the district programs target students directly, we also feel it's equally as important to think about the needs of our staff. Student success and achievement is directly related to the capacity, strength, and motivation in our staff. So therefore, supporting and improving staff health and well-being is absolutely crucial. So through a 2-year school climate grant, which unfortunately expires at the end of the school year, we have been able to start multiple new programs and actually purchase equipment to support this incredibly important goal. So those include our Fit Club, where we have a personal trainer that actually comes once a week and has taught us sort of a what's it called, like a circuit training type of program. We also have yoga classes, and both of those allow for significant stress reduction and improvement in physical fitness, body awareness, and increased energy. We also have a lunchtime drop-in group for our teachers and staff on Thursdays. And that's a time when staff can come in and either vent about various issues, or they can also get consultation around social, emotional, mental health, or even classroom issues. So myself and some of the other interns, the MFTI interns and school psychology interns and the other social work intern, we're all there to kind of support that time. So we can support the teacher's own mental health and also be providing consultation. So all of those programs have really been quite popular, and I think really significantly increased the staff's ability to utilize self-care strategies.
Good evening. So I'll speak about health education. So currently we have peer health education for 9th graders, and that's facilitated and taught by students or staff at UC Berkeley. So this year I know there's been issues or concerns about sex education in our middle school grades. And actually in the peer health education, 9th graders also receive sex ed as well. So in our 7th through 8th grade this year, we'll use this 2 weeks in May to teach that, and there are 2 teachers, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Clark, who have offered to do that. We've tried several times to try to find partners, but partners are temporary and they're not necessarily permanent. And there are really no organizations where they do this, just county-wide. And so the experiences that I've had as a teacher in terms of teaching special ed in larger districts is that we go to a training and then you select, from those grade levels, you select the teachers who will teach, and we kind of rotate the students, and that person becomes a specialist. So we're going to try that out this year to see how that will work with our 7th and 8th graders, using some of the curriculum that we can borrow from our state. The 9th and 10th graders, so 9th graders receive additional in terms of from the Asian Health Services. We've been able to secure the Asian Health Services for a while in our high school because they will teach it in conjunction with science classes, particularly 10th graders in the biology class. We also have educational theater from Kaiser Secrets come out, and they give a presentation 9th through 12th. There are prevention workshops that occur between wellness or some of our partners at ESS, and then alcohol and drug prevention 8th through 12th is provided by New Bridge Foundation. However, our goal is to look at health education in sequentially K-12, where it's not necessarily so, it just seems like it's very put together in a pieced together, rather, that's what I want to say, and which will require more of a scope and sequence, but it will require our staff to be more engaged in terms of what those health frameworks are and health standards. While we have been lucky to have partners, there's no guarantee that they'll use that they want to partner with us next year, or they want to provide a pilot for us, or that we'll even have a grant to help support those services. So that's where we are in health education. And then in terms of our PE, we have currently Annie Yates, at Annie Yates, PE is delivered by teachers, and I know that's an issue in terms of just being able to provide PE as well as teach other subjects, but currently that's the way the situation is in terms of teachers providing PE, and then we also have a PE instructional aid. At ESSP is delivered by our PE teacher, and usually students receive that in their 9th grade and then the 11th grade year. Students, another goal for PE in terms of the coordinated health plan is for students to have opportunities for movement every day, so we're still looking at that in terms of how to evaluate it and how to really capture that so we can identify where students are having movement every day. There's a yoga for teens class, and then we definitely have student athletics at the high school. And again, for physical education, the goal is to provide professional development for PE. and there's ideas that are also coming up. So whether we would hire a specialty teacher at Annie Yates, which would come up through, as we're going through our LCAP process, would that be the case in terms of looking at all the specialty teachers? Would that be one additional, or would that replace one that's currently there? There's also opportunity, would we hire a part-time teacher who actually does PE? Or would there be grade level rotations in terms of there in each grade level there's a teacher who really likes PE? So these are all different models that I've engaged in as a teacher. Would there be one person who really wants to do that, and then teachers would rotate, and someone would teach health or someone would teach another subject? And also really looking at how to maximize our PE instructional aid and utilizing her services, which would mean to really restructure and maximize where our prep time is, and to think about maybe not using it as prep time, but actually she's actually available during other times other than prep, so we can maximize her services as well.
Ms. Allen, quick question. So for the 9th graders on your health education side, what class do they have the Asian health services in?
I think this may be former. This is when we had 9th grade science. So right now it's the 10th. So right now we've
10th grade
replaced
biology?
It's 10th grade biology. We've replaced the peer health education with the 9th grade.
So we have that
Because
once a week.
Yeah, you have that right.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's on Fridays at PE time.
Yes.
Okay.
So we also help support safe and healthy green schools. For instance, Mr. Wright, our safety coordinator, created the school safety plan, which was presented to the board just recently in the last meeting or before that. Through our school climate grant, which is the one that was mentioned prior that is going to expire at the end of the year, we've also provided support to behavioral RTI at both sites through the behavior management team as well as the behavior support team. We've brought trainings to the staff on social and emotional learning, also things like character education. We've also used grant money to purchase materials such as the new STEP kits at Annie Yates and the positive action kits that Ms. LaPlante had mentioned earlier. And since 2007, we've been monitoring school climate data through the CHICS, which is the California Healthy Kids Survey. And this year we administered a new parent survey school-wide with the help of our EL department.
Maybe you said this, but where does the school climate grant come from?
It's through Alameda County Behavioral Health, and they have some school climate initiatives, and so they had kind of a philanthropic partnership, and so we were able to get $18,000 last year and about $11,000 this year. But it was time limited.
I'm not going to talk that much about nutrition services because we did a whole presentation a couple of weeks ago. But the fact that we did a survey, we're going out an RFP for food service companies. We're going to do training for safety and handling. We passed our state audit. Yay. We're going to have spring cooking classes for the seniors because they've requested it. And we had cooking classes before, and they looked at me and said, we need cooking classes. So we're going to have some. And I just found out that we know someone who's doing Afro vegan cooking, so we might be able to get him. The thing that we need to do a little bit more of is actual nutrition education in the classrooms or nutrition education in places. We're not sure how we're going to do that, but we have a future curriculum partnership with UC Berkeley. They do this a lot. We just haven't had a chance to onboard it this year, but we will try to do that next year so that we can talk about nutrition and what it means, because it does no good to have great food or healthy food and nobody knows anything about it, or what it means to eat an apple, or what it means to eat a banana, or what it means to have all of the food groups on your table. And we can make it along with the sports and PE. It has to be something that's integrated in the entire system. So that's what we're going to look at for nutrition services.
So, excuse me. As I'm going to talk a little bit about how we align with some of the district goals. So as stated earlier, the vision of the wellness program is to foster the physical, mental, and social health of students, staff, and families. And as you can see, we have naturally and thoughtfully aligned with and worked towards the district's vision and mission, including a number of key domains of LCAP WASC, the LEA plan, board priorities, as well as full-service community schools model. The programs and services provided by the wellness team aim to support at least 5 of the state priority areas of LCAP, including student achievement, student engagement, school climate, parental involvement, and Common Core. You went too fast. Stop it. Go back. And as you can see on the graph, we also align with the board's priorities, the ESS WASC plan, and the LEA plan. Okay.
I'm going to take the clicker away from Laura.
Yeah. Go to the next one now. So these 5 LCAP priority areas have driven the development of many of the services and programs that Wellness now offers, including individual and group therapy, the Family Resource Center, intensive case management and counseling for special ed students, and staff support and consultation, just to name a few. So when you think about the goals of the 3 buckets for LCAP, it's clear that Wellness shares these goals with a specific focus on student outcomes and engagement. It's a priority of the wellness team to support the academic and social achievement of our students while ensuring they feel safe, cared for, and accepted. And additionally, we strive to encourage and strengthen the participation of our parents and the community. So reviewing the ESS WASC plan, Wellness primarily supports Category E, which highlights the importance of school culture and support for students' personal and academic growth. And in fact, earlier this week, a few of the ESS counseling staff met with the WASC team to share how we support school climate and student learning. In fact, members of the wellness team, including the school psychologist and the school social worker, and Ms. Dunn, of course, participate on the ESS RTI collaboration team, which focuses on the development of systems and infrastructure to build the most effective RTI-based strategies, which is part of the WASC Goal 2. So our strong commitment to an overall positive school climate where students and staff feel safe and supported demonstrates our dedication to goals 4 and 5 of the LEA plan. So finally, we absolutely support the board's priorities to improve academic achievement, reduce truancy, increase student engagement. The wellness staff provide ongoing and daily support to students who encounter personal, educational, community, or familial challenges. And we work hard to ensure that our students have all necessary accommodations and supports so that they can reach their full potential.
All right, now we're going to talk about funding. So what we did here was we took the last 5 years of funding streams and put them into one pie chart and put the totals for 5 years total budget. And so what we wanted to kind of convey is that all of our money is one-time funds or temporary money. So we have not used any funds from the general fund for the past 7 years, even though this chart only shows 5 years. So we're constantly struggling to kind of seek new funding streams, meet the requirements of existing funding streams, and make sure that we can keep our programs going. A lot of the funding from these programs goes to support the staff and personnel, and that, as you saw in the timeline earlier, we've been able to increase our personnel in the wellness department over the years. But just to give you an example, the MA funds, we started that program in 2008, and we received 3 years of money from it. Then we were able to support the school nurse. Unfortunately, that program's in deferrals, and we don't know when or how much we'll receive because they significantly reduced the way and number and people who were allowed to participate. And so that's no longer a reliable funding stream the way it was in the past.
MA? What is MA?
Medi-Cal Administrative Activities. So it supports the federal government, supports schools and then other agencies to connect students with health and wellness supports, so it will prevent kind of chronic conditions that become very expensive later in their adult lives.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
and
this
it's
a victim of sequestration?
It's a victim of sequestration a little bit, but it's more a victim of when California did MA, a lot of schools did not exactly take it seriously and do it right, and
This is the one
reported a
that
lot
kind
of.
of got
Yeah, and we
dinged
got
on by the
dinged.
feds.
Yeah, we did it completely right,
Yeah,
and
not
we did
us,
everything
but
perfectly, but unfortunately, we were part
too
of the
many
California
others.
schools. But they reinstated it, and they're going to bring back the deferrals, they just haven't told us when and where. And we've applied for it, and we, by April 23rd, we had all our paperwork in, so we're gonna get 3 years back of money. How much of it, we don't know. For instance, you can't have the PE teacher giving out MA information because even though they may have given their information to the class, it's not really a way that the state and the federal government figured that you would give out Medi-Cal information. So we had to cut back on the people who could participate and really would be justified. So that's what happened.
And so with that program, we were able to secure a full-time school nurse. And then you see the parcel tax has been a significant support for us, and that goes into salaries for me and Juliet. Congressional earmarks all expired in 2013, and they really supported the creation of the Family Resource Center and all the startup funds, but that funding is no longer in existence. And then behavioral health has provided us, we're in year 4 of 6 years of support from them, and so in the past we used those funds for Family Resource Center, for interns, for professional development, for stipending staff to do training, but now we have a partnership with Lifelong where 100% of those funds go to support our full-time school social worker, so we really felt like we needed that infrastructure. So as you can see, then there's some other little bitty pieces, but a lot of our funding streams are not ongoing. The other thing that's not on here is we have a $135,000 a year contract with the county for what's called EPSDT. So that's our Medi-Cal partnership with A Better Way. And so that we have a licensed clinician and an intern at Anna Yates, but the funding never comes through us. It goes directly from the county to that, through that partnership. So that's another one. And speaking about our parcel tax, this has been a source of a lot of support for salaries, and it's an ongoing priority area for our parcel tax, and we're really hoping that it will remain a priority in the Emery community. What's our future? Where are we going? So what we're working on a lot is really continuing to expand partnerships and also building new partnerships. And for those of you who were at our City Schools meeting last week and heard about from the county and Lifelong about our school-based health center, you have a really good sense of kind of the direction we're moving in, and we're really trying to coordinate our school-based health center / family resource center to provide services for our students in the community. And we're really looking to seek some more sustainable funding streams.
So basically, we're at the point of the evening where we are at the ask. What do we need? Where do we want to go? What's going on? So we're asking. And we need to know what, we need you to know what we need. So the Family Resource Center, it's not going to be funded after June 30th. We don't have any supplies for it. We've exhausted all of our sources. Doesn't mean we've stopped looking. We're going to apply for a counseling grant that's coming up. We're applying with different partnerships. I'm working with Kaiser. I'm trying to work with Stanford. I've gone to talk to them. I've just talked to Children's Hospital. So it's not like we're not looking, but right at the moment, we're out of money. Wellness intern programs and stipends, we have enough for next year, but we're not sure where the rest of them are coming. Operational funds, just plain old materials and supplies. I mean, I can't go to any other budgets, and I have to look at what we can do. So moving forward, we're trying to get everything set up so that when we move into the new ECCL building, our school-based health center will already have programs to do what we need to do. So we're looking for funding, and we're asking because we think we align with LCAP and LCFF, and we'd like to know that we are on the budget items and in the planning hearts of all the people who are putting that together. Okay?
If you want an itemized request, we'll come back.
Because we actually have one now, but we're not sure if we should go ahead and do that. But we do.
I would say, I mean,
we have it.
First of all, I want to thank you all for the presentation. You did an excellent job. That's the first.
We have We have one more thing that we'd like to show you just because we wanted to make sure that you had a reaction. It's very, very short, and we thank you for the indulgence of letting us go on like this. But wellness is a big thing.
So a yoga class that we took last Wednesday was really good. After the class, I just felt something was released inside me, and I just felt more relaxed, more peaceful. And it stayed with me for the whole week after.
One-on-one meetings with people here. They tend to be a little bit more upbeat afterwards, and just better overall. They're more focused when they're able to go leave the environment to the work for.
And it really helps me have a more positive attitude and be more patient with my little kindergarten buddies. It's my first time ever doing yoga. I love it, and I'm more than happy, and I'm looking forward to continuing. Wellness Center is probably one of the strongest things we have in Emery. So open to the kids are much more comfortable going and seeking out help in the and there's no stigma attached to it. If you can just talk to somebody, it's a wonderful thing to feel comfortable doing so.
Good point. Great experience for our students and our staff and our school and our community. I appreciate it.
We have a lot of students that have emotional issues, anger issues, and just issues that we as teachers and sometimes we as parents and we as staff cannot really help with. And when wellness comes in, they are able to dig in deeper than what we actually know about and help really solve a lot of problems that we don't really understand. So I think wellness is very effective. They're effective as a team, and they're effective as people, and they're effective with our children.
I love that. Directed by.
Right, now it's over. Okay.
By Lauren LaPlatte.
Right, right.
Well,
Nah, she did that.
No,
Any questions and information? And thank you very much,
Yes.
everyone who works on wellness.
Well, I'll just open it up to the board for comments, and I just want to really quickly say it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to see the transformation. This program that has been zero in terms of funding from the district in so many ways. I won't say the parcel tax isn't part of the district, but truly there hasn't been a general fund infusion of cash to this program, and how much is accomplished and how much value there is. And you know, and I've said this many times, it's ridiculous that, I mean, it's bizarre that it can happen without that support. So I'm just, my hat is off. I mean, absolutely.
We need support now.
No, I get that.
Well, you know.
No, and you know what, honestly, I totally get that and I agree, but I just, you know, it's just amazing to have been part of, you know, this philosophy, right? And knowing that it's required, that it's a mandate. You know, our community deserves it. And how it's been supported strictly by you all finding funding for this program. I mean, it has literally been driven by, you know, one is a vision, a thought, you know, a goal, but to actually have it be executed in such a way to see all that has come from it is amazing. It's sheer, I mean, it's amazing. So kudos, but we need to do more. So, but I'll just open it up to the board. comments,
I know.
questions.
Yeah, I just want to say, Juliet and Lauren, you guys have done an excellent job, with this program. I mean, a lot of times people say, we don't want grants because they're just, one-time money and, it runs out. But I think as you have so elegantly pointed out in this presentation, that you can go 7 years by just getting grants. You have to stretch it out, but you can make it happen. And with a well-run program, other individuals want to fund something that works. And I think you're working with Alameda County, working with Lifelong, those two agencies, the district has proven that this is a program that's sustainable and it's beneficiary to students. So I think what you guys have done, just to get it to this point on grants has been outstanding. Personally, myself, I'm committed to wellness. So, I can advocate from a budgetary standpoint to put as much as we need in this program. My question, though, is to my colleague that sits to the right to me. And Bree, I would like to know from your perspective, how has wellness improved, especially the behavior and the climate, within the schools? Can you give me a little something to that?
Put her on the spot.
Sure.
Okay.
So I visit the Wellness Center a lot personally, and it's helped a lot. And I think that most of the students are comfortable coming to the Wellness Center and talking because you guys really listen. And I feel that it's nice that you guys are there. I'm glad that you're here, even though it's probably a struggle to keep it open. I'm glad it's there because it's very helpful. And I think other students really benefit from it because not a lot of teachers are there and devoted to their students, or not a lot of students feel like they can go to their teachers. So the fact that the Wellness Center is open or just there for you to come to, even though there's yoga after school or maybe you're in a class and you need help, we can always come to you guys. So it's appreciations.
So for that alone, I can support this program. And I really appreciate, and I'll just put it plain, you guys get out there and hustle. I appreciate how you go out and look for partners who can really be instrumental in not only helping the students, but also helping you from a funding standpoint. So continue to do what you're doing. Something this great, won't end. So I wouldn't even, I appreciate you coming to the board saying what you need. But from my standpoint, this program has to continue based on what my colleague to the right just stated.
Are there any more questions?
Well, I echo the thanks for your multimedia, multi-team presentation. You're certainly a force to be reckoned with, all of you.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely the case that we cannot claim to be a full-service community school district if we don't have a wellness program that is trying to provide part of the wraparound supports for our students that are needed to confront the issues of poverty and and other challenges that our community have. I mean, you tell me 30% of our district, our students are in families that they don't have both parents present there. They're being cared for. I mean, that's a big number. Those brings challenges, and there are a lot of stressors. There are a lot of stressors in our communities that we need to be dealing with. And let me make a plug to invite everyone to Public Advocates anniversary dinner on April 24th, where the keynote speaker will be Nadine Burke-Harris, who's been doing some really excellent work researching and analyzing the stressors that come from, for children in school that come from living in stressful environments. So we absolutely need to have a wellness program because we need to be a full-service community school district. I applaud the work you've been doing on the grant side of things. That absolutely, needs to continue. And I think you're a great candidate for grant funding. I mean, we've decided as a board to support bringing on a development director at the Emery Ed Fund to help with the grant writing for the district, and I think you guys are at the front of the line for how we got to get this funding because you're so integral to the Center for Community Life. So that's an investment that we are making right now for the future of the district, and I think for our wellness program. And looking forward to our meeting Monday, is done with San Francisco Foundation, where we'll be, making a pitch for wellness support. I think we need to publicize better the fact that the parcel tax is supporting some of, your operations. I think that it fits so well with what we want to be able to sell the parcel tax for, is like, look, we're able to do things that other districts can't because we have a parcel tax, and here are the kinds of programs we're providing, and wellness to both the students, but also our staff and the broader community. And I mean, look at our Family Resource Center reaching out and supporting it. So I think it's a powerful story to tell. We need to tell it better. Lastly, there's a timely conversation to be having because we are developing our LCAP, we are developing our spending plan, and wellness needs to be part of that conversation. There are many competing interests. We've seen teachers and students come in front of us over the last 6 months and say, we saw an excellent presentation from our Youth Together and the students at the ASB, and they want counselors more, and we need to I think, giving them more counselors. We've had teachers say we need a PE teacher, which is part of wellness. Music teacher. We've seen other demands. We've got to figure this all out. So, but you guys have to be part of the conversation, and the wellness, I think, has to be. We have to figure it out. So thank you for injecting this, very timely report into the conversation.
Very timely.
Not a problem. And we're going to use, for the parcel tax, you can use Lauren's video. She will relinquish her rights to it.
Yeah.
And you can just have it out there for them.
That's a great, we need we need that times the other things we do with the parcel tax. So, I think that's
hired.
1/4 of our parcel tax video.
Right.
But that's a great idea.
Thank you.
I just want to take a quick moment to voice my appreciation of the wellness program and my pride in it. It's one of the things, when I brag about our district, it's one of the things that I talk about the most, because we all know that I'm the emotional one at the table here, and the emotional support, especially the crisis support, is something that I think is so important for our youth. It's not something that young people are comfortable talking about. They're not comfortable talking about the issues that they're dealing with at home or the internal issues that they're dealing with. And that kind of support and intervention is so important because school-wide violence is something that is on the rise and coming more and more common with yet another incident today. So, I swear I'm going to make it through a meeting without crying. So I would just like to, take a moment to appreciate what you're doing because it's very important work. And on a side note, on the staff part, Head Over Heels would be more than happy to host a staff team building event if that is of interest. Yeah, some flipping in the
Flipping
gym.
over, like
some trampolines and some foam pits.
Yeah.
So.
We'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before you go, I'm going to open it up to the public. If there's
forgot about
comments
that.
from the members of the public wish to address the board on this particular item, please come on up.
No. Come on.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Tawhida Wren. I'm the 4th grade teacher at Anna Yates Elementary, and I want to just acknowledge the appreciation that we have for this health and wellness, wellness team. They're thorough. Their presentation was thorough, and I feel that they're also thorough in the way they handle our students, and timely, and they do it in a timely manner. I have a couple of students that families had been murdered, and you know, and the students they came back to school the next day, and before 9 o'clock, someone from the wellness team came and took care of these children, and they took care of them for weeks and weeks, and the children were so excited about it. They would let me know, I got to go to my counselor. I got Miss Wren, and before the 2-week period was over, they were calm, they were less anxious, and we appreciate that in the classroom. Thank you.
Good testimony.
Good evening, and also from the classroom perspective, I interact with wellness on several fronts as the SST coordinator. And I also participate in the cost teams. A lot of the students who participate they're not all special ed students. They're just students who are dealing with life and life issues, and that's, you know, you can't concentrate on learning geometry or algebra or writing a essay if you're dealing with life. Your attention is there, and they are, like Ms. Wren said, they are timely. They are available for consult. A partnership. We did work with Yale, the Yale Institute, and nutrition. I could, you know, also counsel with them. They meet us in so many different areas, and it's a program we definitely do not need to allow to fall to the ground. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Celeste Faison, and I wanted to talk about wellness in 2 aspects. So the first is I facilitate a leadership class, and I'm in the school all the time. And one of the things I really appreciate is that there are some of my students that go through a lot, and wellness has intentionally built relationships with them. So so much so that they can say, if you see this person showing these signs, let us know. And so I don't even have to send that person to wellness. I can just say, I think you need to check on this person, and they do. And I really appreciate that in terms of being able to manage a classroom. It's really supportive. And then the other thing that they do that I appreciate is I've seen them not only be a safe space for some of my the young people that participate in my program, but give them skills of how to manage their lives when they feel very overwhelmed. And it's been really, really helpful. And then the other thing I wanted to say is I partner with Wellness and am working to we have created actually a youth advisory board for the Wellness Center. And this has to do with the ECCL, and so that when we have the new space, that we have a center that is youth-friendly, youth-focused, and promotes youth leadership and wellness in a very holistic manner. So we're looking at what does that mean in terms of having a safe space for young people besides medical services, but maybe Tai Chi and yoga and gardens and all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's just a testament to show that wellness is really thinking ahead and thinking in a really revolutionary manner as to how to support Emery young people. And I really appreciate them for their openness.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, appreciate this opportunity to talk to you tonight. My name is Les Harris. My son Donovan is in the 1st grade at Anna Yates Elementary. He's also a regular at the Community Rec Center. My wife and I have been involved with the activities at the Family Resource Center almost from the beginning. And we're fairly new to the district. When my son started last fall, he started to exhibit some, challenging behaviors that were, compromising his ability to learn. This, ultimately led to an SST meeting and some other interventions. And I'm happy to say that, thanks to the wellness staff at Annie Yates and the tireless work of Wanda and the volunteers at the Family Resource Center, in particular the social worker who teaches the parenting classes, a lady by the name of Sharon Packer Rosenthal. She's great and just very unselfish with her time and advice. And not only has Donovan benefited from all these interventions, but my wife and I are having been equipped with the tools to deal with some of the challenges that have presented themselves over the last couple of years. We feel much better about where he is now and and where he's headed and his future. So I came tonight because it was brought to my attention that the Family Resource Center faces an uncertain future. So I urge you to address that in whatever way possible, either through the local control funding formula or by identifying other funding sources. Save the Family Resource Center. Thank you.
Good evening. And first of all, I'd like to ditto pretty much everything that's been said. One of the things that's been remarkable to me about the whole wellness effort in the district is, first of all, the persistence, especially of Juliet and Lauren over years, because it has not been easy to be heard at the elementary school and at the high school early on to get on the agenda for staff meetings so that they could have Wellness University. And so it's not just the fact that they are providing the interns and all of those services so kids can be worked with directly, but the fact that there's a tremendous amount of professional development for the teachers. And I've been with the district since 2001, pre-wellness, and have seen a huge difference in the affect of the kids, and a big part of it is not just the direct services of those interns, but the support that staff have had to be able to work with kids in a different way. And the other thing that I wanted to say is I appreciate that there has been a growing awareness of the importance of supporting staff, not just in educating them about how to handle situations in the classroom, but to provide support for staff. And early on, it was things like nice little massages and things like that. But the fact that now there's the fitness class, and that I'm the one who's been offering the yoga class, and the fact that I've been able to get one of the things, I got very pushy. I never do that. Got very pushy, and I wanted props and blankets and that sort of thing. And Juliet somehow found some funding so we could have it, so we could have the real kind of yoga that they need. So the big challenge is, how are we going to continue all of these things? But I really can't say enough about how valuable the Wellness Center has been.
Good evening. So I just wanted to take a moment to publicly thank the Wellness Center. So I'm like the mama bear in the district. I don't care how long ago you graduated. I don't care if you're still here. My phone's always ringing for some reason or another. And a lot of times when the kids come to me, I go right down the hall, and sometimes they're not comfortable talking to somebody other than myself, but I go to Wellness, and they help me to help the kids. So just a couple of weeks ago, there was a fatality, and my phone was jumping off the hook, and I'm helping everybody do everything. And Juliet, I just wanted to thank you for calling me Friday night to ask me how was I doing, and did I need anything. So I thought that was very important, so thank you.
Well, you know, first, is there any other public comment? Um, for me, you know, I don't think I want to see a day without a wellness program in this district. So I don't think, you know, from what Member Affeld spoke so eloquently about, our goal, our vision, our destiny is a full service community school. But without this, it's not a full service community school. I mean, I think there's too many opportunities for us in terms of creating success for staff, families, students, community as a whole. There's just no way. So, as a member of this board, I think I don't see my role any other than to be a champion for the program. So, you know, I support effort. I think we have a really great opportunities with EAF. Hopefully there'll be the ability to find someone as we partner with the city for funding for that position, and hopefully that's going to happen quickly and soon if it hasn't happened already. But in the meantime, we do have a wonderful relationship with Townsend. Hopefully they're doing similar research and seeking additional funding and grant opportunities. But I think we need to get real about our commitment to the program. So I'm hoping that timely is real, because here we are talking about budget priorities, and this needs to become a budget priority. So I just challenge all of us to, you know, make sure that those are listed in front of us, that itemized list is in front of us, so we know what the program looks like. But we already know what the school looks like, what the district looks like without that program. And just close your eyes to everything that's happened in the last 7 years plus. So I don't think we are in a position to go there. So I just, you know, I appreciate the timely message and all the deliverables that, you know, the program has brought to us. So any other comments from board members before we
Member Dice, if I might add, having been here several years ago and listened to the presentation tonight, it's just amazing to me how much this program has expanded, and how fortunate we are to have dedicated leaders such as Juliet and Lauren, who have really put the time in. We are so fortunate to have that dedication and commitment. I reported earlier in the meeting that the WAS committee's visit to the high school, one of the big highlights they pointed out after their visit was the strength of the Wellness Center, and that's something that's going to be in their report. We've got a lot to be proud of, a lot to be grateful for, and we certainly appreciate the commitment to the board to help us find ways to make sure this program continues to thrive. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Amazing work. We are, as they exit, we're going to move to the second discussion action item. Thank you very much. We're going to move to approval, well, and now I think it's review the ETA EUSD 2013-14 reopener articles, tentative agreements for the 2011-14 EUSD and ETA bargaining unit agreement. Item 2. And at this time, I think we just want to, if there's additional questions or any comments from the public, I guess, for this particular.
Correct, Member Dice. What staff is presenting this to the board for a first reading, if you will. It'll come back to the board at the next meeting as an action item, and we're just interested in, you know, presenting it to the public and to the board for informational purposes.
That's great. Any questions from board members on this?
Are we getting at least a description from staff for the public?
Let's see.
Of what's in the
Perhaps,
agreement?
so the question was, perhaps we can do just a quick synopsis of what the agreement covers, if you don't mind doing that, please, Ms. Harrell.
In brief, we came to agreement on things such as the number of subjects that a teacher could teach at the high school level. We looked into things such as preparation time, additional preparation time for our teachers at the elementary school. We came to agreement on class sizes in aligned with the LCFF, but for instance, LCFF requires K-3 24-1. We're maintaining or working hard to maintain 20-1. Salary, we agreed to a 2% on-schedule salary increase for the teaching staff and a 4% one-time off-schedule payment. There was an adjustment to the number of years of prior teaching experience the district would be able to give credit for incoming teachers, and that went from a credit of maximum of 4 years to a maximum of 10 years. So they would then be able to enter into the district being placed higher on the salary schedule. We then moved into, as Ms. Turner touched on, the medical benefits issue. The district has committed to covering medical benefits for all of this year and all of next year, within the convening of the benefits committee to look at options and plan availabilities, help us maximize our available dollar going beyond next year. And that's a brief summary of everything.
Any questions? And I think just from, just as a comment and appreciated ETA president speaking to this earlier, is a deep appreciation for both sides coming to a very good agreement for both sides. So just wanted to appreciate the efforts of district staff in supporting the district and also the teaching staff as well. So just wanted to raise that. And any comments or questions from board members on this particular item?
Just to clarify that, this will come back to us for review and approval at
This will come back
next
on
meeting?
April 30. April 30, along with the requisite statement that goes to the county, AB 1200 as well.
Okay, well, I'll save my further remarks at that time.
Well,
No, hold 'em right here. All right.
I'll just say preliminarily that you guys did an outstanding job with the negotiation team, the ETA negotiating team. I mean, I think it really goes to show that, you know, the district and the teachers are really in alignment with one another, with, you know, great camaraderie and just a great understanding of what our children and what our families need. So I appreciate it, you know, well job on both ends, and let's just continue to keep it working.
Thank you.
As you all have been doing.
Great. Any questions, comments from the public, or comments from the public? Any public comments? There we go. I was gonna get it out. All right, thank you, Ms. Harrell, for bringing us that summary.
Thank you.
And we're gonna now move on to item K3, Owners Representative Firm Contract for the ECCL project.
Yes, Mr. Bonet will speak to this item. As we've announced previously, the district staff and city representatives reviewed RFPs submitted for the for this contract, and Mr. Bonet will speak to the fact that the district has made a selection, and that contract is before the board for first reading. It will then be brought to the city council later this month for review and come back to the board for action on April 30. So Mr. Bonet is here to answer any questions you may have on that contract.
Good evening. Any questions from Mr. Bonet specifically? Since we'll be seeing this again too.
This is just first reading?
Yeah, this is the first reading. And this goes to the council, I believe.
Yes, goes to the council on April 22nd and back
Right.
to the board on April 30.
Right.
So really, it's for first reading and any input we have from the board. At the last meeting, there was some direction to make sure that the contract reflected the ability of the district to make changes, personnel changes, should they become necessary. And we've added that language. I think we have a contract that serves in the best interest of the district in many ways, but any questions you may have, we can answer them.
So what, can you repeat your last point or clarify about the personnel changes?
Right. Well, we've got, as you know, we have a person, a consultant now working with the district, Mr. Gallagher, who is working with us as a consultant in coordinating the project for ECCL. And the company that has, we are recommending the contract, the Swinnerton Company, has a person who will have the ability to come in and serve in that capacity. However, the district would like to make sure that that person is going to work effectively with the district, and has directed, the board has directed that we have language in the contract that will give us the ability, should that person not be effective in our judgment, that we can make changes to that contract to replace that individual. Mr. Gallagher has also agreed to stay on with us for several weeks in a transitional position to work with that person, and we can make a better judgment as the time goes on to see if a change is needed, or if we're pleased with the person that will be taking that responsibility.
What about the inverse situation where the contractor on their own flips up who's working with us or changes that, maybe, or proposes to? Do we have the ability to say, no, we want to keep working with this person, we don't want, in the middle
It's
of
my
it?
understanding that we have that flexibility as well. Mr. Bonet, would you speak to that?
That's correct. Any personnel assignments or changes has to be approved by the district.
Okay. Okay.
Right. And, I'm looking for in this contract where it says the individual who will be responsible for working with the CM firm. It said superintendent/CBO somewhere, my last iteration of reading this, but for some reason I can't find it now.
The district's person?
Right. And my only recommendation was going to be, and this has nothing to do with the ability of our CBO, but the responsibility that was put on him for this project was from a prior leadership, and the fact that we are about to get another leader, I would rather put the superintendent/district designee with, at this time, having the CBO be that designee until we hire our new superintendent, and allow that individual to be able to delegate the responsibility, who would be working hand in hand with the CM firm. So I would just put that out to the board. If it's our pleasure to make that revision, I would like to maybe revise that to where it says superintendent/designee of the district.
Excuse me, Mr.
Mhm.
Member Dwin.
Mhm.
There is no designation
I thought I saw it
of
too.
the district personnel in the contract.
Okay, I see.
The contract is with Swinnerton and with the district. The district personnel would be whoever the superintendent appoints to be the district representative, be it the superintendent or designee, with regard to matters and working with the owner's rep.
So I think when I'm reading in the owners, under the owner representative services, it says under this general direction of the district superintendent and the CB chief business officer, their owner representative will, and it lays out, what they will do. So I think in the general portion of the contract,
That 3A?
yeah, 3A, and that's where I know I've seen it somewhere, and that's what I'm talking about. Under that general direction, district superintendent and district designee, which at this time, I'm fine with you, I have no problem with you doing this. But I think at this point, if we do this, we're limiting the ability of the superintendent, the new one, to come in and, you know, delegate who that person would be. I don't know, they may hire another individual from a facilities standpoint to maybe take on that role. They may be happy with having you, you know, in that role. But, you know, personally, I would rather leave that up to the incoming.
So just change that phrase.
Just change the phrase to, you know.
Same as item 3A3.
3A.
It's the third, but the third.
So you're in the.
No.
What page is that?
You're
I'm
in the
trying to
you're,
find
it's
that.
in the RFP.
It's in the RFP.
They're looking at the
So
RFP.
the RFP
Oh, the
is the
RFP has
request for
already been done.
proposal.
That's already been
It's
done.
It's not part of the, it's not
Okay.
part of the agreement with Swinnerton.
Got you.
No, no,
So
no,
the
let me
district
stop you
rep
there.
Can be the district rep, whoever the superintendent designates that person to be. So.
It
for
is part,
purposes-
it is
For the
part,
purposes
it
of
is
the
part of the agreement.
RFP,
You have
at the
something to say?
time, we only had a superintendent and a CBO.
Okay,
So it's not the actual contract.
I'm with you. Member F, I think you had something you wanted to say?
We'll just, it is part of the agreement, at least as to be clear, the services that Swinnerton will provide under the terms of the contract, paragraph 1, it's one of the bullet points. In fact, it's the first bullet point. That the RFP is incorporated into what services will be provided by Swinnerton are the ones we sought in the RFP. So I want to make that piece clear, because I thought that was the best description of what the services are, and it made me comfortable with that we'd covered the scope. So you're referring to a different provision of the RFP, which is the
Owner's rep.
The
The owner's rep and who they will be directed by.
But even that provision says, under the general direction of the district superintendent and the CBO.
And
the CBO.
Not or, and.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, all right.
The owner's rep will. Well, I mean, the CBO serves at the pleasure of the superintendent, so.
Okay.
I think, I think,
If the board
I think
is-
I'm, yeah.
If the board is saying, you know, I have no.
I agree with you. I
Right.
just think we're covered.
Okay.
With what we got here.
Okay. Thank you.
Good clarification.
Yeah. My question is, well, one of them was there are two versions or two downloads of the Swinnerton contract, 331.14. They look to be duplicates to me.
Yeah.
I just assume somehow we got a double upload, but that's what's on the website.
The reason for two is the first one was a Word document, and lots of people don't have that, so I added the PDF so that it could be
Okay.
universally
Okay.
accessed.
Can't necessarily tell. All right, no different. Thank you, Ms. Emery. The contract price is fixed at not to exceed $1.10 million. And some change. That appears to be based on, from the first document, the letter from a 2.02% of the GMP.
The estimated GMP.
Estimated GMP. And I just want to confirm, and the contract seems to track this, that it's 1.10 million no matter what the estimated, if that changes, the GMP, right? I mean, it's not going to fluctuate if the GMP goes up later. It's just the 1.10 million, the contract price, is what we know on it, based on the estimated GMP as of today. And that's the agreement, right?
That's correct. It's $1,110,000.
Okay, so I got it, but yes.
Not to exceed.
Okay, and that's, if the GMP goes up, the actual GMP is more than the estimated GMP. That doesn't, that doesn't change what we're going to pay the owner's rep here.
Under the compensation to contracting staff, it's not to exceed $1,110,000. So.
Okay. Right. And under what circumstances would our payment be less than $1,110,000? I mean, are we able to achieve any efficiencies that we could, come in under budget, other than, cutting things off early? But if Swinnerton's efficient, if our new superintendent and you can, and Mr. Gallagher provide some good work that they don't maybe need to do all they thought they needed to do, are we tracking an hourly rate in an invoice to say, or?
Well, they are to bill as needed based on time and materials from the start of the project. So if those time and materials are much less, then there'll be a savings.
Okay, so we're tracking this, and they're tracking it as we go along. And if we don't need all of that contract price, then everyone understands that we'll pay what they invoiced us.
Right, they've assigned personnel to the project. If we find that we don't need somebody on site every single day, or however we make that arrangement, then I would assume we wouldn't be billed for that. So, but right now our discussions have been, we have a point person with the district, and his name is John Baker. He's a project, he'll be the project executive. He'll be the one in front of the board, updating the board on the project. He'll be the one in front of the city council, updating the council on the project. The same with the COC and city schools meeting. With that, there'll be, so to speak, boots on the ground at the project site, working with the contractor on day-to-day operations. And then on top of that, they have staff in the background for accounting purposes or funding purposes, and higher level management personnel that will replace Mr. Baker should he be on vacation.
So, Mr. Baker, why don't you come on up? Come on. Come on.
Those are my questions.
Right.
So.
I'm done.
Just before, let's make sure, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I would like to hear from Mr. Baker. Yeah, come on up.
Oh, yes, we need you on the microphone.
So I'd like to introduce John Baker from Swinnerton Company.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I just want you, if you'd like to introduce yourself, just kind of give us, the process via what you know about the project right now, how you all will run the project.
Yeah, it's a role. First, a little bit about what we do. The division of Swinnerton that I work with is called Swinnerton Management Consulting, and all we do is owner's rep service. 90% of our work is public agencies. So I've been doing this for about 25 years, just representing public agencies, doing lots of presentations in front of council and boards, et cetera. The uniqueness of the project is both that it's a lease-back contract, which has its idiosyncrasies, and it needs to be carefully monitored. And that's probably, if you asked us what our number one concern is, making sure that we do that.
Right.
It gives a lot of leeway to the lease-back contractor.
Right.
And we want to make sure that the school district and the city are represented. That's sort of our number one concern. The staffing that was mentioned is what we typically do on projects like this, where we'd like to have someone working kind of day-to-day with the builder on site, and then a team to myself kind of overseeing that person, and also a team supporting us.
So how many FTEs will you have on the site working?
I think, I don't know the exact figure. I think it's about 1.7.
Okay, and what kind of experience are they bringing to the job?
All of these folks have done this. The
Years.
primary person on site, an individual named Fred King, he's got 4 years experience doing this, and I've got about 25.
Okay.
So.
And will he have an assistant?
There won't be an assistant per se, but there are
associate
staff. We primarily have staff helping with financial accounting.
Okay.
which is really important for this project because
Right.
of the different sources of funds and the fact that your accounting system is different than what contractors use, which is kind of translating that financial information is really important. It also allows us to effectively report.
Right.
We also have a specialist in move management and furniture, fixtures, and equipment because there's
Right.
quite a complex set of moves
Right.
that take place when the project's done, more
Okay.
so than most typical projects.
So you all will be ordering the furniture as well?
I think that the procurement would go through the standard procurement
Of the district?
process.
Okay.
We would manage the process. We may actually procure it. We would
Right.
go through procurement channels that we would normally use, but we would manage the process.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm through.
Any other questions?
Anybody else?
No, very helpful recap.
Good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Bonet on this particular item? We'll see again on April 30th. I think we're good. Any public comment on this particular item as relates to the owner's representative firm contract for the ECCL project? All right, seeing none, we'll thank you, Mr. Bonet. We'll actually, that concludes our discussion items this evening. Now we'll move on to item L, board reports and announcements. Any board reports and announcements?
Yes, I have a report. I think as you all heard a little earlier, I did go visit a few of the sites this last Friday. I went to the high school. I visited the economics class, which they were doing a business plan, which I found myself getting very involved in. With every student in the class. I went to the geometry class, and as our fellow colleague Brianna said, they had me doing experiments that I had no idea what I was trying to do, but I was working along with them anyway. And then I went to a English class where I found it very engaging to see the teacher talking about current events and really had the students involved, and it was really good to see. I think they were talking about current events as far as murals and how they would approach having murals in certain areas of the city. I think they took a study case from Los Angeles. And then I went to NEH, where I visited Miss Turner's class, as she said, the 7th grade class. Got an earful from them as far as their needs and what they wanted. And you know, it's always the top, it was the food. So that was, that was great. And then I went to the best class of the whole day. That was the 3rd grade class with Miss Lewis. And I'm sitting up there. Now, Miss Lewis had this class engaged. You hear me? And, when we talk about students mastering their subjects, I mean, the review that she went through and seen every kid in that class had their hand up ready to answer what a segment was, what a line was. I mean, she just had them so engaged. And I'm sitting there, because I've been known probably Miss Lewis before she even started teaching here. And I'm like, look at here, she is really showing out. I mean, she has these kids hopping and going, and I mean, they were so excited, I was excited. So I really wanted to give Miss Lewis some very outstanding kudos of class management, curriculum, and instruction. She showed me what a classroom should look like as far as mastery and having students master their subjects. So I just want to thank you for that. So great job. And that's my report.
It's a good report.
Any other board announcements?
No.
Comments, reports? All right. Well, this meeting, we now move on to item M, calendar review. We have a board meeting April 30, and I believe we got an email about a study session at 5, preceding that regular meeting. Superintendent's committee meeting, curriculum committee will meet on the 30th. We'll work out that time. There won't be that meeting. I just saw that. Finance committee meeting is April 16th, 7:30. Facilities committee, May 7 at 7:30 a.m. And we're now going to move on to item in closed session. And what we're going to do is convene into closed session and report out at the next adjourn into closed session and report out at the next open regular board meeting.